owner of the AWF, Call Superstar, 11-time tag team champion of the world. This egotistical bastard is ready to shoot the shit as Shawn Walsh presents The Shawn Walsh Show, where there is no holds barred.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Shawn Walsh Show. This is, of course, Shawn Walsh. And boy, let me start off by saying I cannot wait for today's episode, because today's episode is a really fun episode. It's not about drama, it's not about responding to criticism, it isn't all rants, it's a fun discussion on Call Wrestling. Remember I told you on episode 2 when I had Travis on that this was not just going to be a COH podcast, this is going to be a Call podcast. Meaning I talk about all different kinds of Call Wrestling with my various guests, and that's what I'm going to do today. My guest today, which you could probably already tell by looking at the title of the video, but I'm going to tell you anyway, is Adam Jackpot, who you may know among various names like Kenyon Fenix, who he competes under in COH and ECF. He also may be known as Rave, among various other names. You know the guy I'm talking about. I'm having Adam on today, and Adam is like me in the fact that he's been a long time Call Wrestling fan. He's watched Call since I think it was he said 2007, if I remember correctly. You're gonna find out in the podcast today. And it was the same as me. And back then, Call wasn't like it was today. And no, I'm not talking about the drama because it's always been there. It's just different kinds. I'm talking about it wasn't like these shoot feds, as Adam accurately described them to be today, like the COHs, like the YWS, like the CWSs. It's not like that. Back then, it was more popular to do fantasy call shows. Fantasy call shows like the DWA, like SMF, like SCAW were very, 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 very popular back in 2007, 2008, even up to like 2010. And he was a fan during that time. He was not like one of these new cats that are around here and they just started watching Call in 2012 and only know Call Wrestling because of a COH. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. COH is a great show, but I really like when there are people who, no offense to those people, who know more about Call Wrestling besides what is out there today. It's kind of like let's take a wrestling aspect with it. You got someone who's been watching for the last 10 years, but they don't really know too much about the Attitude Era. They don't know really too much even about the Hogan era. And you look at it like, oh, cool, you are a wrestling fan, and it's great to watch product today, but, some great stuff, man, back then. You're missing out. You don't know what you really don't know. There's so much, and luckily Adam is like me and he watched during those times and is a big fan of those times. Me and Adam, we're going to talk about shows like SMF and SCAW, even to shows that are deemed original Call shows like the DWF, like ECW. We're going to talk about ECW's recent return episode. This is going to be a really fun discussion. I really enjoyed it. So far, it's been my favorite podcast to do because there's just a bundle of fun, and I encourage all viewers to listen to it. This isn't an episode just for if you watch old Call shows. You don't have to be a fan of SMF or the DWF or SCAW or ECW to like this episode. You can be a new guy. You could be a sponge and soak up this information and learn so much, because there's so much of old call that can be applied today. And then also, it's just a fun interview. I guarantee you, Old Call fans will love it. And new Call fans, you may learn a thing or two. So I encourage everyone to listen to the podcast. And before we get to the podcast with Adam Jackpot, before we get to that interview and have that go on, I'm going to make a big announcement right now that next episode of the Shawn Walsh Show will be a special Ultimate Glory 4 edition of the Shawn Walsh Show. Now, Ultimate Glory, I suspect, should be out well before this comes out, because the pre-show was just uploaded. So I suspect the Ultimate Glory show will be going up probably around this time or in the next few days. And when it goes up, me and a few other COH wrestlers will give our thoughts on the show and we'll review it. Obviously not live, because that's just going to be a long podcast. We're going to watch the show, then we're going to get into the call, we're going to talk about it. We're going to have some people like Ryan Carroll's going to be on. We're going to have Adam Jackpot's going to be on. We're going to have Andrew, who you know as Fisk. We're going to have AJ probably on. We're going to have Jay on. We're going to have a whole bunch of people on this show who are going to talk about Ultimate Glory. Oh, and maybe I shouldn't say a whole bunch of people, because then that makes it to where it's an open thing. And no offense to other people at COH, while I would love to have you guys on, I don't want too many people here because there's just so much going on. I don't want the discussion to go on way too long. So I'm gonna have we'll put it like this. We're gonna have a few people on. I'm gonna have a few guests. We're gonna review Ultimate Glory, and then after that we'll get back to some interviews, and you'll find out in the coming weeks who my upcoming guests will be. Some of you who are on the Call Shoot page probably already know some upcoming guests. And speaking of Call Shoot, there's some big news coming out of the Call Shoot page on Facebook. If you're on the Call Shoot page, you may know what I'm talking about. In the last week, the Call Shoot page experienced some odd things going on. And that's because the original administrator of the page, Travis, decided he didn't want to control the page anymore. He decided that he was done with it and he was going to move on. He wanted out. However, Travis decided to basically kick everyone out of the page. And I saw this because I was kicked from the page among other people, and I messaged Travis. I said, well, "What's going on?" And he told me he didn't want to run the page anymore. He didn't find it fun. And I was like, but there's still people who like the page. And he asked, "Well, do I want to run it?" And I said, "Yeah." So Travis added me back to the page. He made me an admin, and That's the good stuff. Now here's the bad stuff. I had to remove ban from every person that was banned, and then I had to add them all back. And I know that might sound, well, that's not too hard. Trust me, it's hard. Never, ever do that, because you're going to hate yourself for having to do that. And there are people I literally forgot a few seconds after removing the ban to add them, because it's such a two-step process. I even had to add Adam as an admin to help me out, and we barely got through it. But regardless, the Call Shoot page is back up and running under new leadership, but the rules are essentially the same. And I encourage all of you to go and join the Call Shoot page. It's a great page. Can get out of hands at times. Yes, I know. Hopefully, we in the next time one of these situations occur, we deal with them the right way. Also on the Call Shoot page, you will find out right away when episodes go up. Also on the Call Shoot page, you will find out when upcoming recordings will be done, because these interviews are not done live. They are taped. multiple interviews are recorded during the week for future episodes. So I post links to my Ask FM stating on the College Shoot page who's an upcoming interview, and you get to send me questions for that person. So if you're not on the College Shoot page, go to the page, and please don't cause a problem, because then I'll have to kick you out, and I really don't want to have to do that. But if I have to, I will. That's just what I gotta do. But this is not about the College Shoot page, it's about the Shawn Walsh Show, as we're about to shoot the shit here with Adam. We're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to talk a little tiny bit about COH, so you COH listeners out there, don't worry, you'll learn a little bit about Kenyon Fenix. But for the majority, we're going to talk about some fun stuff in CAW over the years and the future of CAW when we come back. Multimedia Mania is running wild, brother, on the hottest new multimedia YouTube channel, Durga Burgers. The Durga Burgers offers the best forms of entertainment, including gameplays of WWE 2K15, NBA 2K15, Sonic, and the also entertaining Saboteur, which takes place during World War II, if you didn't know. We also have something for all your old gamers out there. We have Flashback Friday, where we go and play old school games. We also have podcasts on professional wrestling, television shows, and we didn't forget about you nerds out there. There is a comic book podcast called Different Panels. Durga Burgers is the destination for all forms of multimedia entertainment. Go to youtube.com/Durga Burgers and subscribe today. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the Shawn Walsh Show. I'm Shawn Walsh, of course, and today we are here with Adam, Jackpot, Kenyon Fenix, among various other names. Welcome to the show, Adam.
Yep. What up, bitches?
Now, contrary to popular belief, this is not going to be just a COH podcast.
Thank God.
Yes, I'm not. I know some people, with having Lester and Travis, the first two guests, many people believed this was going to be a COH podcast. We're going to touch upon COH, but, you know, I decided to have Adam on as my third guest because there's so many other fields of CAW wrestling that we can look into. Because Adam's been a longtime fan just like myself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so let's go all the way back. What was the first CAW show you ever watched?
Oh, jeez. The obvious answer for everybody is No DQ.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it was SCAW.
SCAW.
I don't know how I came across it. I don't think anybody really knows how they come across anything, really. But I saw it, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Because this is like, I got into CAW the same time I got into wrestling.
Right.
Which was around 2006.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of just blended. It was like, oh, look, wrestling and video games and Batman. Wow. You know, as a little kid, as a kid, you're like, that's amazing.
Oh, hell yeah.
And, that leads you to other stuff. And then, of course, I went back, and watched all the No DQ stuff, obviously, because you have to.
You have to. I mean, I know there's a lot of, new kids on the block who don't really know too much about the back history of CAW, and they don't really know No DQ except from reference, but there's some great shows there, even for people who aren't particularly fantasy CAW fans, because, I mean, back then, fantasy was widely more accepted than it is today.
It was the standard bearer.
Yeah.
Without No DQ, there would be no COH or AWF or any of our shows for that matter, because everybody went from that perspective. I don't think original CAW became really much of a thing until the game started giving people more of an ability to customize people.
Right. And I mean, some people had their original CAWs, but I don't remember original CAW really being that popular until shows like ECW and the DWF really started to come around in around 2007-2008 period. That's when it really boomed. But fantasy was still popular.
To do with people wanting to create their own ideas of what they wanted to see, depicting of what they had seen on TV. Where fantasy CAW, it could go any way you want, because it's a fantasy fed. The original CAWs were more based on what the viewer wanted to really see from the products that they were watching on TV, whether it be WWE or TNA. Mm-hmm. So they're like, well, I'm going to take my own guys, create them, and do it my way, how I would see it fit. And that's how Original Call kind of became it's synonymous there.
Yeah. Now, we're going to go to the next question. It's going to be a fan-submitted question.
Oh, dear.
No. This isn't one of the ones that you're thinking. This is actually a good question, pretty relevant to what's going on. Top 5 favorite call feds ever, favorite call competitors, non and fantasy.
Wait, hold on a second.
Okay, let's back up here, because this guy decided to send me a bunch of questions in one, so let's back up. Top 5 favorite call feds ever.
Fuck.
They can be any fed.
SCAW. Mm-hmm. DWA. I'm more fantasy than anything, so that's what you're gonna get out of me mostly. This is tough. I should have done this beforehand. DGW or OMFG, which was Total Dan's Fed.
So Dan's Fed.
Anything Dan really did.
Did you watch TCW?
I didn't catch it in time.
Okay.
Sadly, I caught Dan's Fed when OMFG started.
Right. Okay.
Jeez. SMF probably up there. It was entertaining for the first few years.
Mm-hmm.
And fuck. NGW. Mercurius's Fed.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed that Fed a lot.
You know, those feds, those are a lot of the feds for people who started watching Call around the time that you did. It really started. Those are the shows people around the time usually like, because those were the shows that were really popular around that time.
I've always made clear, like, No DQ is like the Godfather, and so is Slam and Jam to an extent, because it was the sister show.
Right.
But I always thought like the forefathers. Like, the actual, like, 4 shows that were the big top 4 were, like, I consider them the 4 horsemen of Ka, were SMF, DWA, SEW, and ICCW.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
And then everything after that was pretty much like, look what they can do. So then you had your UWOs happen, and DWF caused, because DJ's even stated that, it's because of what he had seen in the past. Just because you run an original event doesn't mean you haven't already seen what you've done before.
Oh, yeah.
So, because you got into cause some way or form, and mostly it was because of these fantasy feds.
Mm-hmm. Now, one of the feds you mentioned, SMF.
Yes.
Back in the day, because unfortunately, SMF, after being around for very many years, no longer around, was very popular at the time, but now a lot of modern Call fans look back at SMF and look at it as a joke. I don't think many people understand that SMF is supposed to be a joke.
It was supposed to be a parody, really.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't ever supposed to be taken seriously. I mean, one of my favorite things from SMF was the whole Matt Hardy Green Ranger thing.
Oh my god, I love that stuff. That was one of my favorite Call storylines. Mainly because
it made no sense why Matt Hardy was the Green Ranger.
It made no sense at all.
Anybody who took that show seriously didn't get what they were getting at. And that's what he wanted. That's what I'll call him Bob Ross. That's what he wanted.
Yeah, that's what he wanted. It's meant to be fun. But people now look at it like, oh, I don't like SMF. SMF was stupid. SMF is supposed to be stupid. That's what made it great. Like, okay, yeah, it's hard to get into this show like that now, because all these shows are like so super serious, which part of me kind of wishes more shows like TCF is kind of a more modern look on that. Mm-hmm. Not that quite to the level of SMF, but
not at all.
Yeah, I mean, but SMF had Osama bin Laden.
It's different. It's fun.
Yeah,
and I think that's the one thing Call is missing, is that there's no fun anymore. But we could save that for something else, because I could go way into that whole topic. But
yeah, let's see. Your favorite Call competitors, non-end fantasy.
Like, is there a list, or like I just top of my head?
This guy says in a question top 5. I know that's kind of on the fly. So just if you can just list any that come to mind.
Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Nightwing from DWA.
Cool.
Vega as well. Bob Saget.
Bob Saget.
Like I said, Matt Hardy and the Green Ranger. Definitely. I can't. Oh, jeez. Freddy Krueger and Jason from No DQ. Sephiroth from MGW. Psychic. Nuke. The Flash from MGW. Ben Hitman.
Yeah.
Ah, jeez, there's so many. I'll give that for now.
Okay.
It's just too much.
Just out of curiosity, just my curiosity, were you a fan of Johnny Cage in DWA?
Huge fan of Johnny Cage.
I love Johnny Cage.
Huge fan of Johnny Cage. The best thing about Call for me was not only did I watch it because I'm a wrestling fan and because I was a fan of the fantasy aspect, but these Call feds helped me get introduced to some of the characters that I would end up going on outside of Call, like in real life, loving.
Mm-hmm.
Like Nightwing, for instance. Had no idea really about him. DWA introduced me, and then I start looking at him outside, and he's like my second favorite comic book character of all time. Johnny Cage became my favorite Mortal Kombat character. Vega became my favorite Street Fighter character. Claw was a way not just to to showcase wrestling in a different aspect, but it was also, for some people, could be a way to introduce them to things that they didn't even know about. For instance, I can't believe I forgot to mention Anime Championship Wrestling, because that was a huge thing I really, really loved. Introduced me to a lot of anime shows. I think Claw can be seen as a way to escape and experience things that you never thought you would really experience. And I think that's one of the few things about fantasy fans not being around nowadays that's a little lackluster, is some people were able to leave that and experience these new characters in a different light from the actual source material that they're based from.
Yeah. Now, fantasy and around that 2006, 2007, even 2008.
I'd say fantasy died around 2010.
2010?
After the big, the whole Super Dingoes fiasco.
Yeah.
Is when all, like, the big chain feds decided that they were going to give up, and then there was all the copyright issues, is when all the fantasy feds decided to quit, and then that gave way for all the original feds and the online feds, like the TXWs, and the, what I call them, shoot feds, which is like the CEOHs and stuff, where, real people do their characters with real promos, is when those started to come in, because the fantasies were now leaving because of the fiasco that occurred.
Yeah, I remember.
I'd say 2010 was probably the last year that Fantasy Fed was at its height. Now you're lucky if you find a few that are still around.
Yeah. And usually the ones that are around, a lot of people are quick to shun them.
Yes. Sadly, though, because I get some people don't like the fantasy aspect, but if you watch some of them, just because you have, like, say, like the Terminator fighting Mr. Clean, just because it's them fighting doesn't mean that the person who's doing the story doesn't have really good writing and really good booking to make a really compelling storyline. And I think that's something that people need to look at more than just, it's Spider-Man fighting Batman. It's, that show actually has some pretty talented writing, has some pretty talented booking. This actually isn't that bad.
Yeah. I remember with all that stuff, all the people that came around, all the call killers.
Yeah.
Looking back, they were so stupid. But I know I was at least one of them who was back then believed it all and believed in the fear. But now it's stupid. But around that time is when these, we call them, original call shows, made their debuts. What was the first original call show that you watched?
DWF.
DWF.
I think a lot of people would say DWF. DWF,
same for me.
ECW, and FTW.
Oh God, those are three. Those are like the three top original feds from like their time period, because they were great in like that 2008 time. Oh,
and also TXW as well.
Mm-hmm.
Those would probably be like the four feds that I watched that were original based. And I guess WEDF to an extent, because it was technically real.
Yeah. DWF, did you stick with DWF throughout all the startups and endings, or did you give up?
Never unsubscribed.
Same here.
I'm still subscribed.
Do you think DJ Wentworth is going to come back for a 2015 return?
Possibly for a day, and he'll be gone again. I don't know why he does it, but whatever.
I don't get it either.
He said he comes back, then he leaves, he comes back, then he leaves. I've always thought he overworks himself too much, and that's the issue.
I agree, because he comes back, and the problem is always that he doesn't have the time, but yet he'll do Raw, SmackDown, Superstars, main event,
NXT.
NXT.
He'll try to literally be a suitable replacement for the WWE. Mm-hmm. But it's completely different. Because it's one man running an entire show, recording, commentating, and everything, where the WWE it's a legit company. There's other people working. Yeah. I just think if he wants to come back, one show, one roster, that's it. Go back to how it used to be.
The original format. If you
want to do SmackDown, you can do SmackDown. Go ahead, but get rid of everything else.
I agree, because I remember one of the times he returned, either the last time or the time before, he came back and he said he was going to go back to the original, which is going to be DWF Raw, but then all of a sudden by the next night, he had all these other shows, and then he also was going to do another call show, and he wanted to do a Lucha Libre show, and CWX, and it just...
I think at this point, it should stay dead.
Maybe.
I don't think there's much else that he could really do to make these characters bigger than they already are. Mm-hmm. But you can't keep coming back and telling people, we're back, and then, a month later, oh, well... It's becoming a joke at this point. It's a running joke. It's, DWF's back. Let's put the counter on. Let's see how long it lasts.
Yeah. See, if he came back, I'd like to see him come back and, finish and do, one last WrestleMania, because it seems like these last, 3 or 4 times he's returned, it's always been the Rumble, on the way to WrestleMania, then he quits before that, then we're back to the Rumble again, and, you can only do the Rumble so many times. And I'd like to see him come back and just complete it and I think it's WrestleMania 5 or whatever.
Whatever it is at this point.
Yeah. I'd like to see a fit-in end instead of just he randomly disappeared, because it'll always have that feel that ECW had for many years. That ECW just randomly left, and, it was odd to accept that it was gone.
Well, ECW is back, so...
Yeah, oddly enough, once people start accepting it, it comes back.
Hopefully it doesn't suffer the faith.
I hope not.
So.
What are your thoughts on the return of ECW, by the way?
I enjoyed it. I guess it's a running joke now that Brett and Tyrant never going to finish a match.
They're never going to finish a match.
Gasso is probably my favorite character.
Gasso's pretty cool. He didn't do too well in the episode, though.
No, he didn't, sadly. But yeah, I'd say Gasso's probably my favorite character from ECF. He's also probably one of my favorite original call characters. I just thought he was cool.
No, the guy, this new story he's doing was this guy's want to try and take over ECW or whatever. Do you have any predictions on who you think's behind it?
Hopefully not DJ or anything like that, because it seems like they work together. Because DJ took Tank and everything, and
I know I have 2 theories.
I don't know who it could be. I hope it's something new or not something old. That's what I'm hoping for.
I don't know. Well, I'll tell you mine. Maybe you'll agree. I think it's either going to be TGO or Tank.
It could be TGO, but I've had enough with TGO.
TGO's TGO's my favorite, but he's done everything.
I think TGO needs to leave.
Yeah.
It's oversaturating at this point. But
Tank does need to come back, because there's a story there. He never came back.
Well, the whole thing with Tank is that he said it on commentary that he's career over with a neck injury or something.
Yeah, but you know what that means.
Yeah, I could just be leading to something, but I guess we gotta wait and see for that.
Yeah, we'll see. I think he's coming back, but we'll see. Since we got into fantasy and original, if this seems appropriate to ask this question, since you've been in call for a long time.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite moments in call? It can be from any Fed.
So, like, do you want, like, my career and favorite moments?
Like,
Or
I think this just means, like, stuff
Better.
you've seen in Caw and stuff like that. Like,
Oh, jeez. Okay, the one that stands out the most to me is SCW. I think it was Spring Showdown 2007. It was in the main event. Now, the whole story leading up, the entire part of that year, was the introduction of the No DQ World Order.
right.
Which was Mr. Clean, Michael Myers, Jack Sparrow. And it was teased and rumored, okay, we're going to finally get to see who the leader is at Spring Showdown. And in my mind, I'm like, oh my god, it's going to be somebody new. Because at the time, I did not think it was going to be on the roster. So I'm like, oh, it could be like Jason or Freddy or Link or Mario or Terminator or something. Because all former No DQ guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then the biggest shocker, fucking Spider-Man.
Oh, I remember that.
And it's like, fuck, Spider-Man's the leader of the No DQ World Order. And I was like, what? That's probably the one moment that stands out the most. Is that really? It was like, what the fuck? And another moment was from ACW, Anime Championship Wrestling, was at their second Animania. You probably don't know this. The main event had Albert Ulrich, Naruto, and Beast Boy fighting for the title. And earlier that night, Gohan, who is Naruto's tag partner in ACW's DX faction, wins a Money in the Bank briefcase, pretty much. And then at the end of the night, turned on Naruto and beat the shit out of him and caused him to like leave for a while and won the title, and it was huge. And then, of course, ACW finally came back after all those years recently last year. And at the last minute this happened, we finally got the Goku and not Goku, Gohan and Naruto feud, which finally ended in a fantastic match. That's another moment that really stands out. The Edvin Rockville and Ben Hitman feud, which I really enjoyed, mainly because my two favorite guys from that fed. Did not know who to pick for that. I thought that was really entertaining with the whole wife being involved.
Yeah, that's probably the greatest storyline I've ever done.
Shit, other big moments. Anything DWA did really. DWA was probably my favorite fed of all time.
DWA is pretty cool.
That's about it for that. I'll keep it short.
Right.
But those are the ones that probably stand out the most.
One of the things I remember, because you brought up was SCAW when Spider-Man was revealed to be behind the No DQ World Order. Do you remember when actually later on after that when he came back?
Yes, he went back in black, which was the whole deal.
Like I remember when he did when he came back to the red and blue Spider-Man and won the title, and
I was happy. And then I've always stated like I like Spider-Man and Caw. SCAW used him really well, but he started becoming like Sting was in TNA, where he was always going to be in the title picture. Mm-hmm. And it was like a year and a half after he went back to the red and blue, he went back to the black and white. Not with the DQ World Order, but just he had this like change in appearance. He went to the dark side. I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. And then he went back to the red and blue. Lately, he's not in the main event picture anymore. But I dug it. I liked it. Because I was like, oh, right, well, the No DQ World Order is going to end eventually. Spider-Man's eventually going to have to go back to being red and blue. When he went back to the black and white, I was like, oh, just rehashed.
Yeah.
It was fun for a little bit, but I was starting to get oversaturated at that point.
Let's ask this one. Also a fan-submitted question. Actually, part of the question I had before.
Okay.
Most underrated and overrated Caw.
Most overrated, you're gonna hate me, but I agree to it to the day I'll die, is TGO.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I don't think I get the whole TGO thing. But as soon as he started being used in other feds that weren't DWF, I started to hate him more and more. Because I was like, he's just a Randy Orton clone. You were cool at DWF. You weren't my favorite. Keller was my favorite. Roy Janonko was my favorite. Not you. And everybody likes this guy.
I love TGO.
And I kind of got it, but I also don't get it at the same time. It's like, is it because he's Randy Orton? I just never really grasped it. It's like, oh yeah, you're cool, and I liked your matches, but you know what DJ was doing with them. But I was never like, TGO, yeah, fucking masturbate for him. No, not at all. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. Next match. I definitely TGO is probably the most overrated guy.
All right, what about underrated?
That's tough. There's a lot. I don't think Evan Rockville gets enough praise.
Evan Rockville.
No. I don't think he gets praised, like, in the AWF from people that are inside of it and everything, but I feel like he doesn't have the biggest fan base that he should have, because he's really good.
Yeah. I love Evan Rockville. And I know people are going to say, oh, well, because he's in your show.
I know, like, when he left for that short period of time, I was really upset. I was like, oh no, Evan's gone. I was like,
yeah, he was gone I had him gone for a while.
I was like, I understand why, but I was like, oh, when's he gonna come back? When's he gonna come back? And then he finally came back. I was like, yeah! Fuck! See, that I was happy about, not TGO.
Huge when he came back, wasn't it?
Other people. I don't think Nightwing gets enough recognition for anything. I mean, he's only worked in DWA. I have him now for my show. I don't think, to be honest, I don't think a lot of the roster in DWA got enough publicity. Like, Al Capone got a lot of publicity and shit, and so did Johnny Cage, but I felt like, he didn't get enough, Vega didn't get enough, Apocalypse didn't get enough. I felt like DWA has a huge fan base. I'll say just the DWA in general was a very, it was there, but I feel like ever since, it's becoming more and more, people, you can still hear people talk about SMF, you still hear people talk about SEW. Nobody really talks about DWA anymore.
Yeah, I agree. Not as many people talk about it. Ever since it, closed down, unless you were a fan of it, a lot of people are just kind of don't care. You gotta be, a really big fan. If you're just a kind of casual fan, people don't really think about it as much as they should.
So, DWA in general, I would say, is underrated to an extent. Where it was hyped, it just feels like nobody really cares about it anymore, or doesn't really talk about it. And I feel like it should still be a show that people talk about, because it was that impactful.
Yeah, I agree.
And anything Dan did it, too.
Yeah, Dan had some good stuff.
Not a lot of people gave Dan a lot of credit, so I'd say Dan's show, as well, would probably be underrated, the entire roster.
Alright, now let's get to since we're on a topic of serious questions, let's keep this going with some serious questions here.
Oh no.
So why?
Oh, geez.
Why is Ryan Carroll a fat, miserable sack of piss? The world must know why.
Repeat that?
Why is Ryan Carroll a fat, miserable sack of piss?
Okay, for one, piss should be replaced with shit.
Well, he's a sack of shit, too.
There we go. Why is he a miserable sack of shit?
Fat, miserable sack of shit.
Fat, miserable sack of shit. Probably because he's fat. I'll give it that much. Why else? Well, here's a story that not a lot of people know. But he has this intimate relationship with a bag of peas. And, sadly, I don't think the peas love him enough, so he gets depressed. And slowly he's becoming a goth. And I think that's the depression building. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if in a few months he starts cutting his wrist because of it. I mean, that bag of peas, I feel bad for the bag of peas. It had to deal with Ryan Carroll. I mean, who really wants to deal with that? I feel bad for you. I feel bad for Jay. I feel bad for anybody. I feel bad for the world. He takes up 10% of the continent. I guess that's a good enough answer.
Yeah, I think that that quite explains that there.
There we go.
Let's continue on some, thoughts of people.
All right.
A fan submitted question.
Oh, Jesus.
Thoughts on Ace Walker and Gustavo?
A very weird question to ask me. Because
I'm just saying, same with the questions, sir.
No, I know it's your job and everything, and I know it was open to the public. Anybody can ask what they want. I just I don't understand why me of all people. Ace Walker is shit. I think that's pretty obvious. He's not good on the mic whatsoever. And especially in, like, COH, where it's all about what the promo is.
Mm-hmm.
Because Travis and Steve and Alex, or whoever's on the booking team at the time, they're the ones that are making these matches happen, not you. I mean, yeah, you give the ideas, but you're not the one controlling the match. So, it's not like, oh, you can be like, oh, look at my strength, I can do an awesome suplex and shit, look at fucking pedigrees and fuck. No, it all depends on how your promos go, because that's what we're gonna see, that's what the audience is gonna watch. We don't know what the hell's going on in the booking. So, yeah, he sucks on the mic, and that goes for anybody really in COH, or in Claw in general. Like, you gotta make your promos be the thing that makes you you.
Yeah.
Without your promos, you're nothing but a blank slate being controlled by the higher-up who downloaded your call to use in your Fed. It's the promo makes the character when it comes to these shoot Feds. You're not confident enough, or you're not secure enough, or you're not dedicated enough. You're not going to be liked, nor are you going to have any kind of fan base. And to people like Ace and others that I know there's other people out there, but he's the only one because of obviously the question, that bitch and complain that I'm better than this. The fact that you are bitching and complaining and stating that you're better than this proves that you're nothing but a total waste of time. As for Gustavo, I don't know him well enough, but he's got some weird fascination with some people. So let's leave it at that. See, he's a nice guy. I've talked to him because I've been trying to help him with his call review page.
Mm-hmm.
He likes call. I'll give him that much. He's dedicated. He's definitely a fan. There's apparently he's coming to COH. Hopefully he does good.
I only wish the best.
I can't really say much else because I don't know him well enough, or I've never really talked to him. So I'll leave it at that. I'll be like, nice guy, don't know him, so I can't say anything bad about him, but everything else replies to everything else.
Alright, you just opened this up very easily for me for the next question. You talk about Gustavo being dedicated and liking Call.
Yes.
You know where this is going?
Not at all.
Oh, I'm surprised. You should know this. So, one of the things people know of you now is you and COH.
Oh, okay.
Now, I don't have to go through the whole church story unless you want to say that. I mean, I think it's kind of self-explanatory.
I'll do a quick little summary then. Was a fan of Bray Wyatt in NXT. Never really was. The only fan I was ever in was in CCL. Had a bad falling out because
Adam Edge.
Yes, I don't want to talk about it. I'd rather not talk about Adam Edge. Had a bad falling out because issues had occurred. Came back as APOC. Eddie Mac didn't do anything with it. I left. Stayed off for a while. Remember watching YTCW, enjoying the people that were there. Then Travis comes up with this new Fed COH. I say, oh, I want to do that. I want to do promos. Because I always thought it was fun. Promos are really fucking fun for me. I really love doing promos because
I like promos too.
they're entertaining. You can do whatever you want and get away with it. I said, I'm going to do this cult leader gimmick. I'm the Church of the Epiphany. Great name. Bray Wyatt. Awesome character. Nobody's doing this yet. So I did that. I gave it the submission. Became Atticus Marks, which is a combination of Karl Marx, who was a very acclaimed philosopher who had some really, really interesting ideas when it came to communism, and Atticus Finch, who is one of the best characters in all of literature from To Kill a Mockingbird, who is one of the best speakers ever, so I'm like, combined. Makes sense. So Atticus Marks happened, got stuck with Kendrick, did like one promo, disappeared, still disappeared. I took the whole thing on my own. Travis came to me with Sonny. I said, alright, I'll give this kid a chance. The rest is history.
The rest is history. Now...
Because I think Sonny went over that in his, so I'm not going to continue from there.
Yeah, well, obviously Sonny went on to do these promos and stuff like that. Now, I know the answer to this, but some people may not. During the church, especially towards the end run of it, was there any friction, if you will, between yourself and Sonny, based on some things like him shining out as a star, like him going out of his way? I'm not saying he did it on purpose. I'm sure.
Yeah, he didn't do it on purpose. I don't think he meant to do it on purpose.
He was just sending in promos.
I've tried making this clear as much as I can, and now here's a bigger platform to do it. Atticus was never supposed to be a wrestler.
He was supposed to be a manager.
I was always supposed to be a manager, but I started getting booked in matches. Now, the issue that there was there is, Sonny made it clear me and him did not talk at all. Mm-hmm. That's a problem on both of our parts. We didn't really converse a lot, so it was all through what Travis was. So I didn't know what was going on in that case. Really, I should have maybe talked better about it. I was still new to this whole thing. I was supposed to be more of the mouthpiece, and it went the other way where Sonny started becoming the mouthpiece. Was there friction between us at first? But then we've fixed it. We saw that it wasn't really he understood what I was coming from. I understood where he was coming from, and in the long run, we both came to an agreement that it was a booking issue. So really, not our fault, but it is our fault. It's a big clustered up fucking mess, is what it is. So,
to clarify right now, for certain people who may say that there are some bad feelings,
no bad blood.
You guys are all good.
We're fine.
That's good.
Bad blood. It's hard for me to hate something.
Oh, I know that.
And definitely for you guys, if I hate something, it's a little bit more vocal.
Yeah. So you did this feud with Lester, and some things good, some things bad. Like you're going to get out of any feud.
Yep.
I'm not going to go too much because I talked about that with Sonny, and I'm sure you shared the same.
Yep.
Thoughts. Now you're on to Kenyon, and we talked to Kenyon. You are Kenyon.
Kenyon.
On to Kevin. That's what I'm looking for.
Oh, okay.
That's the right K word. I kind of talked about this with Sonny. Kind of talked about this with Travis. This is really, I guess, your first real shot after what happened with Lester to, I guess, break out and get that chance that maybe you didn't with Lester. Mm-hmm. Any expectations you have for this feud with Kevin, since you are fighting Kevin at Ultimate Glory?
Do you want me in character for this, or do you want something else?
Well, and take it any way you want.
Alright, well, from my personal perspective, I'm fucking honored to be working with Kevin. He's definitely, he's been around the corner a few times. YTCW, former champion. Of course, former COH champion. Mm-hmm. Definitely one of the most, he's a super nice guy. Well respected by everyone. I can't really say anything bad about the kid. I don't know. I get it. Ages things. I say kid. Kill me. I'm happy I'm doing this feud. I understand the booking could be a little bit better, but I'm not gonna hate on the booking because I know Travis had a lot of issues after Ready to Rumble with everything getting destroyed, and then he did the hiatus. I know he's really trying to just get this over with, get on to the next season, and try and make, I think, season 5, right? Season 5?
That sounds
Season 5 better than what season 4 was. Because season 4 was sort of like a Walking Dead season, where the first half was great, and then the second half turned out to be shit.
Yeah. It's a good
And comparison. I don't blame that really. It's circumstance. Shit happened, and that's what happens. So, my feud with Kevin, yes, is a way for me to get a little bit more of exposure. I'm really happy to be doing it. Kevin's a fan of mine. He's a fan of Kenyon's. He wasn't a fan of Atticus's, and I can understand why. There's a lot going over into the future. The stars are bright for Fenix. Like he says, the Fenix will rise again.
Now, for Fenix, some people have put him as someone who they could see down the line winning the world title, whether it be a Slam world title or even the COH.
I wouldn't listen. I'm not self-centered enough to say that I'm going to be the next fucking champion and shit. I know where I stand, and I know what I can do, and I know what I'm at.
Well, what I'm saying is, do you think Fenix let's say, come next Ultimate Glory, will be ready for that, or do you think that Fenix has to win an Internet or a Pride title first?
At least a mid-card title.
Okay.
I'd be fine if COH ended and I was Internet champion. I'm not one of those people that's like, I need to be world champion to be solidified. I don't need it. My whole thing is, as long as I'm having fun, I have a fan base. Even to a fan base, I really don't. I just want to have fun. I don't care about fucking ratings and shit. I just want to have fun. I mean, yeah, you put in the effort, you might want to get something out of it. So if I get a Pride title, cool. If I get the Internet title, cool. Get a tag title, don't know how that's gonna happen, but cool. I get a world title, cool.
Okay.
But if the show ended at Ultimate Glory next year, and I say was Pride champion, I have no regrets because I had a fun time and I enjoyed it all.
All right. Next question, fan submitted question.
Oh dear.
How do you unlock AJ Young? Every time I select him, he's always locked. I can't use him. He's too dark.
Well, for one, unlike the actual AJ, remember to pay the electric bill.
Yeah.
Because without that, you can't turn on the game. When you get to the game, you're going to go to the unlockable section. Now, you see, most SVR games, you go to, the community, you go to the store, you buy the unlock everything button. You see, we're talking about AJ here, and he is black. So, what you have to do is you're going to have to open up your system manually, and you're going to have to rob the data. Now, after you rob this data, you're going to cut it up into little lines and snort it like cocaine.
Jesus.
When you sneeze back onto the game system, you go back, you type in the contra code, and boom, AJ Young is unlocked. Granted, he still looks the same as his unlockable. That's only because he's black.
Oh, okay. Well, for all the viewers out there who want to unlock AJ Young, they can do so. It's quite the process. Just
remember, though, there is one thing about AJ Young that is an issue. He does tend to fall asleep in the middle of the ring. So you're going to get him for like maybe 2 minutes before he drops the call.
True. You might want to win those matches quickly. Since we brought up AJ Young.
Oh, Jesus.
No, nothing bad.
Okay.
AJ is the Call All-Stars champion.
Yes, he is.
And
one of the best.
Yes, Call All-Stars 7 is coming up this summer.
Yes, it is.
AJ, if he walks into Call All-Stars with the title, he's got a lot of defenses coming up.
He's got Caleb Blair at Ultimate Glory.
Yeah, he's got Caleb Blair Ultimate Glory. He's got a couple other defenses coming up soon. I'm for AJ's sake, hopefully he keeps that title. I
know the big bad Bowser daddy wants another shot at that.
Well, first of all, do you think AJ's walking into Call All-Stars with the title?
Definitely.
You think he's going to beat all challengers?
Oh, yeah.
Now,
that AJ Styles contract.
Now, with that, AJ going to be the champion. AJ's going to have to go up against the winner of the tournament.
Yes.
Do you think, first of all, who do you think's going to win that tournament?
Now, I could say the obvious answer would be, like, Vega's going to win because he's representing my show. I won't be that, I won't be that fucking self-centered. I think it's going to be Hitman.
Mm-hmm.
That's my choice.
Okay. At Call All-Stars, Ben Hitman versus AJ Young. It's going to be a very huge match if Ben Hitman wins the tournament.
Great.
Do we see a new Call All-Stars champion?
I think this is the year we get a new Call All-Stars champion.
Do you think Ben Hitman will finally become champion?
If it's Ben Hitman or if it's somebody else,
So you think whoever wins the tournament is going to become champion?
I think whoever wins, or some capacity, whether the Money in the Bank, guy cashes in. Kamikaze still has that briefcase.
So we're guaranteed a new champion.
I think Call All-Stars ends with AJ Young no longer as champion.
Okay.
He's had the belt long enough. I think he's had a nice run with it. It's time to pass the torch.
Okay.
I wanted him to pass the torch to Hawkins last year. Didn't happen. AJ's a great champion, but it's time to let that belt go to somebody else.
Alright, so we'll see what happens at Call All-Stars.
See you in October.
October? Get the fuck out of here with that. Now, Ben Hitman, you mentioned him as someone who you think is going to win the tournament. Ben Hitman has been in the news lately.
Oh, yes.
The Call news lately, because Ben Hitman recently competed in the first round, thus being the first superstar to go to the second round of the Call All-Stars tournament, in which he wrestled that match in CCL.
Yes.
Which is in AWF, his home base. He's in CCL, he won, and that brought a lot of attention, specifically from the Raging Redneck, who recently had some comments towards Ben Hitman. Do you have any takes on the Raging Redneck's Ray Geddes' comments towards Ben Hitman?
Ray Geddes, Raging Redneck, is probably one of the hottest top prospects right now in Call. You want to talk about a guy who does a gimmick right, like a parody gimmick right? Like, that's what TGO should have been like. We'll always go back to that. Great promo skills. Guy's got it. And especially for the fact that apparently he's not a young guy.
No.
He's got it. He's definitely one of the few people that still have fun with Call. What are his comments towards Hitman? He's a guy who's trying to get his name noticed, and this is how you do it. You call out the big boys. He's called out the Blacklist in CCL. He's called out the Patriot in COH. He's now calling out Ben Hitman. Guy's got the right idea. Call out the big boys. Get yourself known. People are going to be like, wow, look at that shit. And hell, maybe we got a Call All-Stars match there.
Maybe. I mean, Ben Hitman recently just said from his Facebook account.
Alright.
Yeah. Ben Hitman did this.
Right.
And he said he would be responding to the Raging Redneck on this upcoming episode of Superstar Mayhem. You think Ben Hitman is going to give what kind of response do you think he's going to give? You think he's going to care? Do you think he's pissed? What do you think?
Well, so far it's been interesting because he's Canadian, and Canadians don't usually get pissed, so I'm starting to question if he's really Canadian. He's gonna mention it. He'll definitely mention it. I think Hitman does have bigger fish to fry at the moment with his brother. And AWF in general. Remember, Geddes is not part of the roster, so it isn't something he has to worry about. But you say the wrong thing, and you piss off the Raging Redneck, like he makes clear, when you're messing with the Raging Redneck, you get dealt with. So if Hitman says the wrong thing, don't be surprised if an episode of Mayhem shows up, or at the next CPV, good old Raging Redneck sitting in the front row with a ticket while he watches and scouts.
You think if one day these two guys were to get it on in the ring, who you think would walk out the winner?
I don't know, actually.
Don't know?
Not at all. I think both guys are immensely popular. I think Geddes is at the height right now of his career. I think Hitman still has a few years left in his tank. I think that match would be... The real winner of it would be the fans.
Okay. I agree with that. Now, also, what is your...
question?
Huh?
Is this another fan question?
Yes, this is another fan question.
Is this a good one, hopefully?
It is a very good one.
Oh, dear God.
What is your favorite position to shag a bitch?
Oh.
You only pick one. The fans want to know. This is not for my personal need. This is what the fans want to know. Your fans.
First off, if she's a bitch, she's a dog, and I'm not into bestiality like Kurt Angle is.
Oh my.
So she's a broad, is what she is. Shag. Did Austin Powers ask this question?
This question was anonymous.
Alright, well, groovy, baby. Fucking Christ. It would probably be the Fenix position.
Oh, my.
Yes. In which, like the Fenix, it rises.
Jesus.
Right inside.
Next question.
You asked it.
This question was so demanded, it was asked twice.
Ooh, okay.
Your 5 strengths and weaknesses in Caw.
Fuck. I wish I had time to do this. 5 strengths and
If you can't think of 5, just spit.
Alright, let's see. My weaknesses. Probably, my, lack of conversing with people most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Other weaknesses. I tend to not give things on time. I am a procrastinator. It's known. That's my phone. Alright. Anyway. What's my, one of my strengths is my promo skills, I would have to say.
I agree.
I like I said, I really get into these characters, and that has to do with a lot with my actual background. You know, I'm a film director.
Mm-hmm.
I also dabble in voice acting on occasions. I think that's been clear. I can do a mean Christopher Walken. I know. I look at the feud. I say, this is what I need to do, and I need to intimidate, and I need to play the character the way the character is, and then I go with the promo. Boom. If I like it, I keep it. Most of the time I like it, because I usually do one takes. And I don't write anything down. It's all off the top of my head. And I think those are the best promos, because when you write shit down, you get confused, you get jumbled, then you want to do something else. The best promos are the ones that you do right on the spot, when you know you're in the mood to do it. And you have to have, I make this clear every time I talk to people about promos, you need emotion. Emotion, emotion, emotion. If you're not invested and you're not giving a fuck, the promo is going to lack the emotion. Screaming is not an emotion.
I agree. Agree 100%.
I don't know, what else am I good at? That's about it. I can't really think of anything else. I'm an easy person to talk to. Just don't piss me off, or else you're not gonna like the side of me. I guess that's a strength, right?
Huh? I guess so. That fits it.
Don't piss me off. That's all I can really think of. It's hard, because your strengths and weaknesses in Caw are really... Again, like I said, it has to do with the promo. So, I mean...
Yeah, so yeah, just...
Oh, maybe... Okay, another issue people say is I have to speak louder in my promos.
Then again, sometimes with that, though, is the gimmick.
So, I'll give it that.
So, like, you know, when you say just you're easy to talk to, just don't piss you off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Good quote from your favorite wrestler, Jeff Jarrett.
That's a different topic for a different day.
I'm sorry, you.
That's a different topic for a different day.
All right, now. As
we're
getting towards the later end of this interview, I feel it's appropriate to bring up...
Oh, no.
No, it's not the bad. You'll like this.
Oh.
NJCW.
Okay, good. I'm
now...
still waiting on that one question. I know it's coming.
I don't know what question you're talking about.
Right. Yes, NJCW, my baby.
Yes, NJCW, it's, you know, for years you've been... you've been around and you've been trying to get a shot, but...
I've tried so many times.
But now
ever since like I got into Caw, I just wanted to do it. Never understood how they did it.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got my Mac, my lovely Mac. Her name is Paige.
That's not creepy.
Which had a webcam. So I was like, I guess this is the best I'm going to get with, because then I started to understand, oh, they have capture cards, and then I was like, on not Yahoo, Amazon and shit. I was like, oh, I don't have that kind of cash.
They're quite
So
expensive.
like, I'll do webcams, and it didn't work out the way I wanted it to, because there was so much I had to do. And I never really had
like webcam feds.
And that was another thing. People were like, oh, fuck webcam feds. Finally, this summer, I got my capture card, and NJCW is now up and running. My baby has finally come alive, and I'm sticking with it.
Alright, for people who aren't familiar with NJCW, because NJCW, it just started to get things rolling. What can you tell them that's different? Because there is a difference with other college shows, and why they should watch NJCW compared to the standard, whether like the COH is the wider.
I'm not going to do that thing, because I don't think my show's better than theirs.
No, I'm not saying it's better. I'm different. There's an obvious difference between them.
Okay. One, it's a throwback to Fantasy Feds.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the big things. I was not going to do original. I mean, granted, it's a hybrid. It's original. It's got fantasy. It's got actual wrestlers in it, like real life wrestlers, but not the ones that are on the video game. Like, I'm breaking kayfabe here. So there's that. Why should you watch it? Fucking Skype. Why should you watch it? Because it's fun. Like I said earlier when we were talking about SMF, fun. That's what I want it to be. I don't want it to be that serious. Granted, we have some serious storylines going on, but I want it to be fun. The fun comes from. I always found CAW to be fun. I just wanted something that if I had a rough day at school, or I just wasn't feeling that right that day, to just go on my computer, find one of these feds that uploaded a show, sit back, relax, and just have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what NJCW is. It's a throwback to all of those old great shows, and fun. Watch it and be entertained. That's what I do. That's what Andrew and Jay do when they're on commentary. We just have fun. We don't give a shit what's going on. Granted, we'll give a shit if something big happens, but it's all about fun. NJCW is an alternative to everything that... It's an alternative that doesn't really happen as much anymore, because all of that's dead. Everybody kind of has, like, the serious model. Yeah, everybody has fun with what they're doing, but it's all structured the way a regular wrestling show is, where you gotta have the serious shit and all this other stuff. My show is just, here's a bunch of random people doing random things, and we're just gonna have fun and enjoy the ride, hop on. There you go.
Alright.
That's NJCW in a nutshell. Right? Yeah, I guess.
Well, I'm gonna ask you two more questions before we get to name association.
Okie dokie.
One, do you think Fantasy CAW will ever be be anywhere near its peak like it was a few years ago?
I don't think so. There are a good handful left of Fantasy Feds. Like, ACW came back. There's UCCW. There's TWA, which not a lot of people know about. FCAW is still rocking. I'm trying to think of more at the top of my head here. Shit.
A lot of them are gone, though.
A lot of them are gone, which is sad. But there's still good shows out there. Granted, will it ever make a comeback? Sadly, no. But I think that's CAW in general. I think what we have now, we should be appreciating of what we have. Because there was a time where everybody thought it's over. CAW's done. It's done, gone, goodbye. I think we should be happy with what we have now. Don't ask for more. Don't ask for stuff to come back. Be content with what we have, because as soon as it's gone, you're going to be sad when it leaves.
Yeah. And I just thought of this other question while you were talking. With, we went from fantasy to original to, like, a mix of original and, like you called shoot CAW shows.
Yes.
Do you think we're now going to... Most shows will be in that original or shoot? Do you think it will go more shoot? Do you think there's anything past that? Or you think that CAW is at some point, say in the next 5-10 years from now, won't be like it is because it's done everything.
I feel like as of now, the big thing is the shoot fence.
Mm-hmm.
Is all these people getting involved doing their promos. Then there's the little cult of fantasy fence that's left. I don't think there's anything. The only thing that would be different is if somehow, some way, the next 5 years we get like a virtual reality wrestling thing where we can, I don't know, some fucking hologram shit or something. That's not gonna happen. We don't have fucking technology. We're not China. You know, it's that's you know, I think we're at a point where there's nothing new that can be done. What we have is what we have. In 5 years, will we still be here? I can't tell. Because like I said, there was a point in time where everybody thought it was over. And then it was rebirthed. Yeah, I was going to go with that. But now, it's what we have. And I'm content with what we have.
Oh, alright, I agree.
I'll try and be alive until for another 5 years if I can.
Well,
I don't know. Not
same.
like in real. I'm talking about the cost. I'm not dying that early. You know, Matt Hardy.
Jesus.
I'll never die.
All right.
I guess that's what I could say for that.
Okay. Now, last question.
Oh, here we go.
You know, I don't know. Maybe you've heard of this question. I don't know. This seems
around
the news.
Well, here we go.
This seems appropriate to ask you, however.
Just don't say.
See, there's an old tale that you and Jay Crack were together, and he bought you with his own money a cookie.
All right.
A very nice gesture. Would you agree?
Yeah, sure.
It's not even funny.
Right, yeah, no, not funny. Oh, it's horrible. It's like the Holocaust.
And what do, you son of a bitch? You don't eat the cookie like a true good friend. You throw it away.
Well, here goes this being a very nice, entertaining fucking...
And you know, it was nice to have you on, but god damn it, that is a despicable thing that you did. Your friend bought you that cookie, and when you throw it away...
Yep.
Threw away the friendship. What is your response to that? Because you don't have many fans of you after hearing this.
I know. I've heard the cookie hater, dirty heel. You know, it's chocolate chip massacre of August or September.
I don't even think Iron Sheik would do that.
Iron Sheik would probably do some other things with that. I don't want to get into that. What is my response to the cookie being thrown away? Let's see. I'm gonna go heel here for a little bit. Shit happens.
Shit happens? That's your response?
I made it very clear that I had eaten. Yeah. Let's go with that. Before, I had met up with Jay in an undisclosed location that we will not talk about. And granted, yes,
at all.
He got me this cookie. And I looked at it, I was like, oh my god, that's so nice. I mean, I would never ask anybody.
So nice, but so sad that you threw it away.
Don't even let me finish my goddamn testament here, are we here? Let's see how this is. It's fucking like a cult leader, like the KKK.
Not even they would.
I would never ask anybody to buy me anything. I don't like it when people actually do that. That's something I'm really, really against. Is people buy me things without me saying I want it. And even at that case, I would make sure you didn't. So he bought me the cookie. I was like, oh my god, I feel so bad, but I'm full. And if I eat this, you see, I have a uvula issue that I won't get into. But if I shove things down my mouth, like I've already eaten, it's gonna come back up in the span of 2 seconds. Or I'm going to choke to death. This is all true. Not fucking lying. So, yeah, I had the cookie and I kept it with me for a little bit. I was like, okay, let's see how long I can keep it. Maybe I'll get hungry along the way. So we go to a store. It was hot out that day. So it started to melt. And I don't know what to do with it at that point because I'm still full. So I go up to Jay and I tell him, listen, I ate. I'm very grateful that you got me this cookie, but what do you want me to do with it? And he told me to throw it away then. And I kept telling him, no, you sure? You eat it. You take the cookie. He's like, no, just throw it away. And I felt bad throwing the cookie away. Now, granted, I could have given it to a hobo or something, but yeah, it was a terrible thing that I did, and I'm sad, and I'm sorry for it. But Jesus. There we go. That's my testimony.
Well, you know what? That's an interesting response. You may have some viewers who feel compassionate for you and all this kinds of stuff.
I highly doubt that.
But I asked you this.
Oh, no.
In all seriousness.
What now?
With all that could happen with everything.
Yes.
You wouldn't die for your friendship?
What?
You wouldn't take the risk of eating that cookie for your friendship with Jay?
If there was a good enough friend, you wouldn't let me die.
Well, how was he supposed to know? He was being a good pal, and now...
Are you crying?
No.
What the fuck did I get myself into? Would I die if it was like a fucking bullet?
Jesus, what kind of animal you think Jay is?
No, not him shooting me. Like, if somebody put a gun to his head, I mean, like,
shit, I say shooting the shit, and you think all of a sudden Jay's trying to shoot you.
You know, I'm gonna leave.
No, you know what?
I gave my testament. You all know now.
You made your
All
bed.
you people out there in YouTube lands, you all know.
You made your bed. But let's
What
continue
bed?
on.
What fucking bed? Where's there a bed? No, Seth.
Let's move on. Let's go to name association.
Okay, cool. See, you're getting me riled up. Fucking great.
Okay.
Have a nice, great discussion. Bullshit.
Alright, this one's pretty relevant. We're gonna start off with a huge one that's disturbing.
What? Wait, we're doing name association now, right?
Yeah, this is the name of a call show, though.
Oh, alright. Shit.
CXWI.
No.
And specifically, their video of Post Ambitions Part 5/2 Digimon 1. Well, you know.
YOLO.
I plead the fifth.
Plead the fifth? You condone their actions.
Not at all.
Okay.
Listen, I want to go back, like I said before, cause supposed to be fun, cause supposed to be entertaining. That's not what that was. That was furry porn.
Mm-hmm.
On YouTube.
Well,
the account deserves to be shut down.
We'll see what happens.
Next.
Travis.
It's fucking Travis. Great guy.
Okay.
He's got a great... Okay. When it comes to COH, he has his ups, he has his downs. He listens. He's very easy to talk to. Except unless you're Carol. And he's like, if you get to know him regularly, fun, entertaining, full of fucking energy, great guy.
Alright, and then for these guys too, because there's gonna be a couple of, young cats on here, new kids on the block,
yeah.
Any word of help, if you feel you need to, would also...
Word of hope?
Help.
Help who?
Well, these new kids on the block, if they need like a...
Well, give me the fucking name.
I'm gonna get there, you son of a bitch.
Well, you're not... get on with it.
Alright, Sonny.
More emotion, Sonny.
Okay.
Screaming is not an emotion. You have the dedication and you have the passion, and I can see it. Also, I've seen your Ask FM. Drop the ego a little bit.
Okay. Now this kid isn't well, he's not a kid, but he's a big kid. He ain't a new kid. He's a fat kid.
Oh, I think I know this one.
Ryan Carroll.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be Levi.
Well, we'll get to mine until that.
Oh, Ryan Carroll. Didn't I already explain that in the question?
Well, maybe you have anything else to say for it.
What else do I gotta say?
Fairly well said. Monotone.
Or if not that fat.
What? No, since you brought him up, Monotone Matt, Levi, Matt Barnes, Tubfuck.
Is he monotone now?
Monster Cream.
Damn it, Levi, get out of here.
Is he monotone now? Yeah, yes he is. Joking aside, let Austin do the talking, sit in the back and be the big muscle, because your promos are boring as hell.
Okay.
I have no shame, I'll be legit.
No, that's what I expect. No bullshit. Alright. Let's go with, Fisk, Andrew.
So Andrew in general, or just...
Yeah, Andrew.
Alright, as Fisk, turd face, goddammit.
Agree with you on that one.
My call for you is awesome. Fuck you. As Andrew, dude, just be more open. People aren't gonna criticize you, bro. I know you might think, oh, everybody's just scary, and you're just like this little ant. We're all little ants today.
Little ant.
I said ant. It's a bug. We're all little, you might think like, you're a small fish in a big pond. We're all the same, really. Everybody's not gonna fucking bash you and criticize you. I bet most people that they heard the truth that you had and your real opinions, they'd probably respect you more. Also, you never know, they might actually appreciate it. Be more open. It's a scary world, I get it. But if you're more open and you're more active and you're not afraid, you grow better. I was in the same place as you as once. And I just decided to break out my shell. So just be a little bit more secure and okay with yourself. You'll do fine.
Alright. J-Crack.
God. Master of everything. He's the Asian sensation that's sweeping the nation. The greatest hardcore original Claw icon.
Mm-hmm.
Underestimates himself as a commentator, but I think he's a damn good one.
That's very nice words for a guy you threw away a cookie from, but whatever.
Son of a bitch.
You forgot Oriental fuck machine and put something, but oh wait, what am I doing here?
Alright.
I don't know what just happened.
Phone lines.
Fucking phone lines, man.
Lone Star. The guy who runs SCAW.
Lone Star. Visionary. I mean, not only just visionary, dedicated. You want to talk about fucking dedicated. If I'm not mistaken, we're going on to Blood, Sweat, and Tears 9? I could be wrong. It could be 8.
I'm not sure which one it is, but I know he's up to like episode 160 or something.
But holy fuck, man. I mean, yeah, he had like a few months where he had off during the whole Super Ridiculous thing. But, shit, you want to talk about dedicated. You want to talk about a guy that's been able to keep this fucking thing going. And definitely, after, all these years, him and probably No DQ are going to go down as like two of the greatest of all time. Only because the longevity is there. Lone Star, definitely visionary. And like I said, my first fan and my first inspiration.
Okay.
So, Lone Star, definitely.
El Nuveno.
Oh, Jesus. Fucking Christ. Really?
Why not?
Fuck. Creep. Has a fucking problem. Find a real pussy.
Oh my god.
Raven's not a real chick. I can't look at Teen Titans the same way now. Stop being a baby bitch. We were just fucking playing along. Grow a pair. Honest to God, dude, you have a few psychological problems, and if you say you don't, you do. And most likely you're not watching this. But I'm the one true I love Edo.
Oh my god. Well, now the world knows.
This guy right here. Right here. Adam Jackpot exclusive. I'm the one real LMNO. Take that to the fucking bank. Write me a fucking check.
Jesus Christ. Alright, ooh, this one's gonna be interesting.
Got it.
We'll put it 2 and 1.
Alright.
Marco Chronix, aka the YWF.
Alright, I had a falling out with YWF. Okay, Chronix I never really talked to, so I really don't have much of an opinion on.
Mm-hmm.
I like his character. He's not bad. Marco the same. I never really had a fight with him or anything. I mean, yeah, he's had issues with other people, but that's not my place to talk. And like I said, yeah, we had a falling out. He's a good promo cutter. His vision for what YWF is, him and Chronix can put on really good promos and really good storylines. The shows are really short though, and that takes away from the impact of the final product. YWF used to be really good, but I don't know what happened. Maybe it is because there's not that time there for them to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But if they really put in the effort, and they really felt like they could do the best, or they want to be that separate show that can rival COH, they could do it. I just don't understand why it's in the position it's in right now. Granted, I'm not going to ask. I'm not really going to bother with it, but there's potential there, and that's what I'll say.
Okay, alright. Eddie Mack, CCL.
I didn't like Eddie at first. I thought he catered to... I got a lot of hate here. I thought he catered way too much to a certain specific section, which was the Something Awful page. The Something Awful forums. Mm-hmm. As well as the SMF forums. I felt like he catered way too much to make his show big by putting over the established people instead of making a roster full of the same thing and then establishing these new guys. Which is one of the main reasons I left, which is one of the main reasons Brent Harfinier left and Smokey left. And a lot of people decided that they were going to leave. He's got, again, great stories, great promos, he's got a really good roster. He's got good production value. The only issue is he needs to get a new fucking mic because I never understand anything the commentators are saying. I enjoy CCL. I do. But, yeah. We'll put it that way. He's got the right idea. He just doesn't... I guess he's trying to fix it now. It's not going to be around for much longer.
Mm-hmm.
But, I still watch it. I'm still a fan.
Okay, alright. I'll give you 2 more to wrap this son of a bitch up.
So.
AJ Young.
Alright. Oh, you want me? Oh, I thought you were going to give me both at the same time. AJ,
no, AJ first.
Sleepy? Underrated.
Ooh, okay.
I should have put him at the okay. Underrated in everything that's not AWF.
Okay.
Also, dude, don't make yourself the goddamn world champion in your own Fed. But yeah, definitely underrated. Doesn't get a lot of respect. Great promo cutter. Another guy that cares, which is always the best thing, is if you give a shit. Give me your fucking serum, or whatever vial you use, because, man, you looked 50 at one time, and now you're like 25. Dude, what's your secret, bro? I want that.
Fountain of Youth.
Fuck yeah, shit, Lazarus Pits, man.
Alright, and last, and certainly least...
Oh, Jesus.
A man that we don't want to even talk about, but, you know, we gotta ask about these horrible people.
Oh, no.
One, in fact, that we heard, apparently, based on Travis' interview, was in talks with Travis Those plans didn't go through, by the way. That being Shart.
Oh, I thought you were going to say somebody else. Okay. Pussy bitch. Faggot. You got some problems, dude? Because I know some things that happened in the past. I saw some things I don't want to ever have to see again.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Bro. Dude. You got the same shit Novetto got. You fake emo fuck. God, if you wanted to kill yourself, you should have fucking done it. And people like you who bitch and complain that their life is fucking in fucking shackles is bullshit. You're trying to get attention. People like you should not exist. And that goes to anyone like that. Fucking end yourself. Because you're a waste of space, and this earth doesn't need you, and we desperately don't want to ever have to be around you. Kill yourself.
As we all know, everyone in
I like this. Is there more? I want more names. This is entertaining.
Well, not that I can think of.
Oh, fuck. Well then.
I mean, we all know Sharp. He's not very well liked, mostly because he doesn't like me for whatever reason. That's number one reason, obviously.
Yeah, well, different topic. Yeah, what was that? People like that tick me off.
Alright, well, this was a fun conversation. It was different.
Definitely! I enjoyed the hell out of this, fuck.
It was a lot different from, the typical, okay, let's just talk all about COH.
Wrap it the fuck up.
Jeez. Producers are being angry today.
And making me do work and editing. So I'd like to thank you for coming on.
Oh, hell, it's been a pleasure.
I'd like to have you back at some time.
Definitely I'll be back. I can talk about something else.
Yeah.
Well,
other fucked up
fun.
things.
Enjoyed the hell out of this crap. Wanted to do this for a while. I hope people finally get to see the real me.
Yeah. Alright, and thank you for coming on, and good luck in your future endeavors here in Call Wrestling.
Future endeavors? I'm getting released. Wait.
Sorry. Not sorry.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching the Shawn Walsh show. I really hope all of you out there enjoyed it. I know I did. I know I really enjoyed my discussion with Adam. We talked about a lot of old call wrestling, whether it be fantasy call shows, whether it be original call shows, and even up to today's shoot call shows and the future of call wrestling. It was really, really fun. I enjoyed it a lot, and I really hope all of you out there did too. Even for you who are not old-time call fans like myself and Adam, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I really hope you guys learned something from it too. Because there's a lot you can learn even from old call. Like I used the example in the beginning of the show. It's like not knowing the Edge era, or not knowing the Hogan era, the Golden era. You go look back, you go hear stories and hear how things went when Macho Man was doing stuff, or when The Rock was doing stuff. You can still apply that stuff to today, and it's the same thing when it comes to call wrestling. And also, it's just something you can watch, and it doesn't matter. It's timeless. You can go back and watch these shows. I've done it before and watched old shows, and it still is the great feeling that it was when it first came out. And that's one thing I love about call, and I hope all you guys love that about call, among the various other things that you can enjoy about it. Yeah, okay, call has its problems, but doesn't everything have problems? So at least there's a lot of positives to call wrestling, and that's why I do it. That's why I do the AWF. That's why I do my call work. That's why I do this podcast. Now, who's next? Well, if you listen to me in the beginning of the episode, you know that next week's Shawn Walsh Show podcast will be a very special edition. It'll be an Ultimate Glory 4 review edition of the Shawn Walsh Show. I'm going to have a couple people on. I'm going to have some people that you might know. I'm going to have Adam back on. I'm going to have Ryan Carroll. I'm going to have Andrew, aka Fisk. I'm going to have Jay. I'm going to have the whole gang on. We're going to talk about Ultimate Glory 4. We're going to give our thoughts about it. We're going to talk about where we think COH is going in the next season. We're going to talk about all that on the next episode. Do a little review. Do something a little out of the ordinary. Every once in a while, I got to throw these things out there. I also encourage all of you, if you are not already part of the page, try to join the Call Shoot page. I am now the administrator. Bring you in. As long as you don't cause any trouble, or should I say, a lot of trouble, because the Call Shoot page has been trouble. I've caused trouble on the page before. It happens. That's what the page is for. But there's a certain line. If you cross that line, then I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to super kick you out of the page. But, you just don't cross that line, we'll get along just fine. And you can go say your opinions, even if I don't agree with them. We'll have our debate on the page. But the reason why I say that is because all Shawn Walsh Show podcasts, the links are uploaded right away to the Call Shoot page. And also for upcoming episodes, I will write on the page to send me questions to my AskFM/Shawn Walsh 105, and I will tell you who the guest will be. And then you can send me any questions, and I will ask the people. I have after the Ultimate Glory podcast, I have quite a few podcasts lined up with some people. I have Ryan Carroll in the future. I have a Daniel Mars one coming up. I have a J-Crack one coming up. I have quite a few podcasts coming up. So, and there's going to be lots of news and announcements in the coming weeks for what I'm doing with the podcast. So stay tuned for that. I don't want to give that all the way now, because there's no fun in that. I'm gonna wait. Tease you guys a bit. Now with that tease, I think I'm going to call it off right here. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope to see you next time. And as we watch, review, because we're not going to do like a fucking 3-hour live review. As me and my bros do our review of Ultimate Glory 4. I can't wait. There's going to be a lot of surprises on the show that I know, some I don't, but I think overall it's going to be a good show. But we'll see what happens. Catch you later.